We are down on the bayou as you get a look inside. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This will make it into the end zone, and he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their 35-year-old quarterback in his 13th season in the NFL, the former MVP Matt Ryan.
He threw for nearly 350 yards. His team won, and one word just kept coming to mind as I watched him during the game: surgical. Absolutely surgical. That's why he won NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, very precise. The throws maybe as accurate as he's been in some time.
Yeah, I think he feels pretty locked in here, and I think he feels like he can get it done again in this one, too.
They throw right away, and that's complete out on the right side. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line.
Out of bounds at the 32-yard line.
Throwing again on second down. Ryan, this is caught. It's Greg Olsen. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 7 yards there and a first down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? Second and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy first down conversion. And he's going to get this one down to the 45. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. To throw is Ryan. Fitzgerald bringing it in over the middle. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. 7 yards there and a first down.
First and 10 at the 37-yard line.
They go play action now. Ryan. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Ryan sacked.
These strong safeties, some people may not realize it. It's really like an extra linebacker, right?
It really is, because they're hybrids. Half linebacker, half defensive back. The linebacker in him on that play emerged.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Another try after the first down sack. Ryan got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 27-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Okay, I'm not so great at math. I just looked over at our statistician, Marvin, and he signaled to me 5 for 5 to get things started here on this opening drive. Where I come from, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Now, what do you do defensively to adjust?
Well, this is where you got to make a decision as a defensive coordinator. Do you really get after the quarterback, or maybe you tighten down on the receivers, bulk the ball for their routes, chip away at their timing, so things aren't as precise as they've been so far in this game.
Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Give him 6 on the play, and it'll make it second down.
2nd and 4.
Out of the gun, it's Ryan. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. The 13th play now coming on this opening drive. Here's 3rd down.
3rd down and 4.
From the gun, it's Ryan. The 3rd down battle won by Atlanta this defense. Solid coverage.
As defensive coordinators around the league tell me all the time, that throw is not for every quarterback because you've really got to drive the ball downfield. It's going to be a tight window for him to fit that one into. In this case, unsuccessfully.
Well, after marching down the field, only getting 3 there, kind of feels like a win for the defense.
And it does. They'll go to the sideline feeling a lot better that they didn't give up a touchdown after the march against them. But if I were the offense, I wouldn't hang my head over that one. That's a good drive, and 3 points were put on the board.
So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They'll be led out by the reigning Super Bowl MVP in his 4th year now. It's Patrick Mahomes.
You talk about the pause that refreshes. I think it's come at a perfect time of the year for them, hasn't it? You know, it's the season is starting to wind down, got a little bit of a break. But how about the guy calling the signals? He's got to be excited about that because now he didn't just get a game plan for 1 week. He's able to work on it for 2 weeks. I can't wait to see if they have anything special in store for him today.
And good job of just fighting through 1 tackle there to pick up about 3. Second down coming up.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20 because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. Mahomes now on first down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 39-yard line.
Mahomes now to throw. Gets this one to Juszczyk. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40.
A 3-yard gain on the play. Brings up 3rd down.
Mahomes looks to throw on 3rd down. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Intended for Chris Van Mertz.
Brandon, we saw these defenders fly into the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
On 4th down, here's Brett Kern to punt the football away. Waiting on it will be Richie James. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their second drive. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. Ryan. Fitzgerald on the slant. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. Now a handoff looking right. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Tackle made at the...
Well, it's hard to have vision as a runner and find a hole when there's nothing but defenders in your way. They stacked that one up really well. But give him credit. Instead of trying to bounce it out and turn it into a big play, which might have turned into a big loss, kind of just took his medicine there and took the 1 yard.
Going right side here, and that's complete. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield.
I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he is across midfield from 149 to the other 49, a gain of just 2.
Across midfield to the 49-yard line. A 2-yard pickup.
On 3rd down, Ryan airing this one out for Fitzgerald. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So instead of 4th down, 1st down.
Well, so much for winning the down you put a lot of emphasis on, because 3rd down is key for offense and defense. Instead, you're going to stay on the field and start a new set of downs.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
1-yard gain. Brings up 2nd and 9.
And he'll give it here to his running back. A nice display of powerful running, but it takes him only to the 7. He's dropped there. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
3rd and 3.
Here's Ryan. The 3rd down battle won by Atlanta's defense. Solid coverage. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
So scores on their first 2 possessions, but 6-0, so field goals probably not what they were hoping for.
Man, you're exactly right about that. Not what they were hoping for, but they should be happy that they have points on the board. It almost feels like that old slow and steady wins the race, doesn't it? In this case, though, they want to be slow and steady now, but get explosive later and put the points up on the board.
So for the 2nd time in this one, we get set to see the Falcons offense. And you know, it's certainly a lot of football left to play. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're in first place in their division, looking really good and looking to be a threat come January.
And are you one of those early holiday shoppers, partner? Are you one of those guys get your list done? Because I think about what every team has on their holiday shopping list right now. What's the number 1 goal? Make the playoffs. Number 2, win your division. Number 3, and I think the biggest goal of all, try to get the number 1 seed so you get that first-round bye and ensure you don't have to go anywhere in January and hopefully get to the Super Bowl that way.
That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. So here, the men in charge are going to be looking at whether or not the receiver had possession of the ball as he went out of bounds.
And they have to make sure that the receiver got both feet down in bounds as well.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
At the 43-yard line. It's a gain of 7. Brings up 2nd and 3.
Looking to throw is Mahomes. Flushed out right. He'll run it. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. Mahomes can sling it, but the feet are nimble too as he scrambles for a first down. 6-0 our score after 1.
With the score, Saints 6, Falcons nothing.
From midfield, here's Mahomes. Throwing right, and that's complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for a first down for the Falcons.
Well, one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds
blitz coming, and down he goes. A CD, so often we talk about quarterbacks holding on to the ball too long. Well, we can't say that there. He had no time to do much of anything.
And this came from the interior of the defensive line. And these guys, they're normally anchors of that spot. And they don't often get clear shots at the quarterback. But in this case, he got past the center and the guard in no time and got there to make the play.
As we check the next-gen stats, you'll see he had precious little time to do anything with the football there. And to give this time to the tailback. And down to the 36-yard line here. Able to pick up a healthy chunk of yards, 7-yard gain, but a tough 3rd and 9 upcoming. From the gun, it's Mahomes. Going to throw right side here, complete. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints 16. Nice 3rd down conversion and even 20 yards.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And the nimble footwork gets him just inside the 10 to the 9, but no further. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Brings up 2nd and 3.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Mahomes. And he's going to be dropped back at the 15-yard line. That's Daron Payne with a sack that time. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
The Falcons on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Here's Mahomes to throw. His throw caught at about the 5. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. A 15-yard touchdown grab. And the Falcons are an extra point away from moving out in front.
All the receivers in the league are plenty good enough. Otherwise, they wouldn't make it in the NFL. But the ones that go to the Pro Bowl, they have refined route running ability.
Dustin Hopkins on now to add the extra point. He's got it, and they take the lead at 7-6. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And the Falcons score to cap it off. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the 2nd quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here.
Face mask. Defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they're marching off another 15 against your squad.
From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. 12 yards there, good for a Saints first down.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
2-yard line. A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5.
And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he's got 4 down inside the 20 to the 18. A third field goal of the first half, not what they're looking for as they come up on 3rd down. Now it's Ryan. And he finds a man. It's Olsen. And he will have the first down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
From the shotgun, Ryan. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. T.J. Yeldon, his first touchdown on the year. And once again, the Saints are back out in front.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
Technology is for, and this touchdown will count. Extra point good by Prater, and that'll make this a 6-point game. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. Taking it about the 1. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21.
22-yard line.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Flush to his right. And he's going to keep it here. And just shutting him off there. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the first down.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now it's the fullback. This is Kyle Juszczyk. And he tries to power forward, but he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
This defense is really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's going to have just a couple here with a marker on the field as well.
Hey, baby, this ain't good enough for us.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Now a handoff here to his running back. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a third down and long. Working from the gun, Mahomes. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he can only manage to take the football to the 40, and that is well shy of the first down marker. It'll be a gain of 12, but it will also lead to fourth down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Here's Brett Kern now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here.
10 yards on
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. Ryan. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. The Alabama man, Dre Kirkpatrick, there on the coverage.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And once again, not much running room, if any at all. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10.
No gain on the play. It's 3rd.
From the gun, Ryan. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Excellent play there on 3rd down. Give him 25 yards.
That's a big gainer on that play, and from experience, I can tell you, that's where defensive backs will come into the huddle and say, guys, how about some pass rush? But you're going to say it nicely because those big guys up front, they don't like being criticized very much. Quarterbacks in this league, you know they'll pick you apart if you give them time like that to find receivers downfield.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
3-yard pickup. Brings up 2nd and 7.
Operating from the gun, Ryan. And he finds his man, the tight end Olsen. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 29-yard line. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now throwing on first down and completing it. And they move this all the way down to the 9. I don't think there's anyone who could possibly doubt how fast he can run on the open field. But if there were, he silenced those thoughts there.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
And according to Next Gen Stats, his top speed on that one, better than 20 miles an hour. From the gun, Ryan. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal.
Brings up 2nd and goal.
Throwing again, Ryan. This will be caught at about the 6. And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal. The 3rd down battle won by Atlanta's defense. Solid coverage.
Well, it's been a tough go for them. These guys have been driving down the field, but defensively, once they got their backs to the goal line, turned up the pressure, that's going to lead to a 4th down. Well played.
So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. And the 13-year man puts it through. And now it's a 2-score game at 9, 16-7.
Falcons 7.
So a dozen plays on that drive, CD, but in the end, it yields just the 3 points.
Well, they were able to keep the defense on the field for a long time, but let's be honest about it. That was about as unsatisfying a drive as you're going to get. 12 plays and you only get 3 points out of it. Not quite the ending they were looking for.
Patrick Mahomes on his way out for their next drive. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but bottom line, his team's losing. They got to fix something.
And it starts with him. He has to keep that little quarterback strut going right now to make sure that his team sees him as confident.
And the Saints pressure gets him. One down for a sack. Daron Payne picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
If you rank 1 from the bottom in statistics, that's usually not good in this league. And this team, 1 from the bottom in sacks, but somehow they've got 3 in this game. What's going on?
I know, they're 31 of 32. They better be careful, or they're going to be top 30 in the league. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. And he will find his man on the end route, complete. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Mahomes looking to throw on 3rd and 2. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he finally is out of bounds, but he's down inside the 20-yard line. A big play there just before halftime. 48 yards. And I think that's a pretty good illustration of why they try to get the football into his hands out of the backfield. That was something else.
And we talk so much from a defensive perspective about scheming and finding ways to take away the run. That means the offense has to devise different ways to get the ball in the hands of their guy out of the backfield. Find open space, let him run, and big things can happen, and they did right there.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. So they had the big loss on that 1st down pass play and facing a 2nd and long. Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against.
And he's wrapped up, taken down, back at the 25. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. As they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Hopkins' kick is good. And the deficit trimmed to 6 now. It's 16-10.
16. Falcons 10.
So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
And they will get the first down here as they move into field goal range as well inside the 25. Matt Ryan And then the offense heading back onto the field. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of it. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down.
27-yard line. It's a gain.
This time they'll just keep this on the ground. And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. With a heavy set out there, 3 tight ends in the formation for 3rd and 3. So we have reached halftime in what's a 6-point game at the break. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. The NFL season going to be about 2/3 complete after this weekend, so lots to get to as we check out what's going on here in Week 11. We'll begin up at Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. And it's the Lions who are out in front as they play the second quarter. Michael Thomas, a touchdown reception. Next, we head off to check out another game. And they currently trail in that game against the visiting Patriots. The veteran Drew Brees with a touchdown pass. Finally, we head to the shores of Lake Erie. See what's going on with the Cleveland Browns. And that game all even as they host the visiting Philadelphia Eagles. In our game, it was the former MVP, Matt Ryan, with a strong first half. He's thrown for close to 200 yards already, and that's helped propel his guys into the lead. As we send you back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3.
Fielded in the end zone.
And no fireworks to start the half. This will be a touchback. Time now for Patrick Mahomes as we put him in our player spotlight. He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but that O-line, they've got to protect him better.
They do. They've got to make sure that they give him more than enough time in order to find targets downfield. And sometimes what happens when these things are going on is that the field general will step up and say, hey, that's on me, guys. I didn't get rid of it fast enough. Anything to try and relax them a little bit and take some pressure off, because they do know that they are trying.
Yeah, well, we've seen the 4 sacks so far in this contest. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I think this running game, or should I say lack of one, is making this defense look better than what they really are.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. On the quick handoff, it's Juszczyk. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves him with 3rd and about 6 yards to go.
5 yards on the play. And it's 3rd.
Now Mahomes. And he's taken down here by the Saints. Daron Payne able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Here's Brett Kern now as he's on to punt for Atlanta. .51 yards on the punt there. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. So here are the Saints to take over. Last week they got the victory against the San Francisco 49ers. They've got the lead in this one as well right now. They're coming out with a jumbo package to start the drive. Now a handoff here to his running back. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
He's brought down.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Pay attention.
First and 10.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Operating from the gun, Ryan. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off by the Alabama man, Dre Kirkpatrick. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
Atlanta prepped and readied for its next possession. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area. And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
7 yards there and a first down.
A gain of 7. And the Falcon first down.
Now here's Mahomes. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It's a gain of 13 and a first down for Atlanta. To throw, it's Mahomes. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
Bet you're going to tell me. Good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage. And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. He's going to go up top for the end zone. 4th down after the New Orleans defense holds serve.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
Makes the score Saints 16, Falcons 13.
So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
The Saints take over 1st and 10 at their own.
The New Orleans offense set to take over. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
And he's upended after a gain of 4 up to the 25-yard line. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Yards on the pickup.
Play action. It's Ryan. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6.
I see what they were trying to do. They were trying to find some dead space in the middle of the field and take their shot right there. A really good idea, but it winds up incomplete.
Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down. Ooh, with a juke. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness. He's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Now on 3rd down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
Here's Brett Kern now. He's been terrific so far. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. After some early struggles running the ball, they've really picked it up. Early it just seemed like there were no holes there. Now all of a sudden the holes seem to be there. I don't know if that's just my imagination.
And give them credit that they kept their confidence, because sometimes when you get stuffed big in the running game early, especially for an entire half, it really makes you retreat a little bit, but not this group. They always have the confidence. If they just get their assignments down, they would get in sync with their runners, and off they went.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And this one will be taken up. They'll spot it right at the 7. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense, because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
So he turned to a trusted, familiar face in that 3rd down situation. It paid off.
Yeah, you go to your veteran receiver in that spot, so you can't underestimate him when he's on the field defensively. Make sure you know where he is, because he understands how to get open in key situations.
So a little breathing room now. 1st and 10 at the 17. From the gun, it's Ryan. And this is going to be incomplete.
So much for the best laid plans and best designed plays. That was good coverage along the sidelines. No place for that one to get in there. It sails incomplete.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw again, Ryan. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. To throw again is Ryan. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7.
A loss of 9.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And it's fielded at the 34. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Atlanta now coming out on the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Not much there, only a yard. To throw again on second down. Mahomes. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
Well, that certainly has to feel good, and it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Now they try the right side here. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. It's a 6-yard loss on the play. And it'll be a 2nd and long.
I really like what he did there because he took his practice work and converted it to game action because he used his hands, got off the block, worked laterally and stayed to the outside, and finished off the runner for a loss.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And a solid run down inside the 30. Able to pick up a healthy chunk of yards, 7-yard gain, but a tough 3rd and 9 upcoming.
Kid had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. 4th down after the New Orleans defense holds serve.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
And this one is right down the middle. And we are all tied at 16 apiece. It's another field goal, his 3rd of the game. Maybe not exactly what you're looking for, but does bring them level now.
I like how you put that in there that brings them level, right? Because if you're talking about kicking, bringing that soccer analogy in, I love that one. I love that one a lot. You don't want to go for it on 4th down to come away with nothing, right? Go ahead and kick the ball. Make sure you get some points. Even if it's a safe call, I think it's the right call.
Matt Ryan and the offense heading back onto the field. So, Charles, there are the numbers. What's happened here? Defensive adjustments that's caused him to sort of fall off a bit?
I think so. That has to happen. You've got to make some changes because in the first half, they were pretty effective. But the second part is sometimes when you're doing really well, you get off your game a little bit. You get off the gas a little. You're like, okay, we got this thing. And that's not necessarily the case. Maybe right now, someone just needs to tell a joke in the huddle, loosen things up, and get their big guy going again. One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down. From the gun, Ryan. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he is going to have a Saints 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Back now here live in New Orleans. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Ryan. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35.
That's another save.
I think it's fair to say there's nothing that gets a crowd to its feet quite like a big play, and that was something special there. Boy, was he moving.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
And his top speed, as computed by Next Gen Stats, not bad. He was pushing 20 miles an hour. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
He was tackled at the 27-yard line. A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd.
From the gun, Ryan. Fitzgerald bringing it in over the middle. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. 9 yards the pickup there, and it's a first down. Now a handoff here to his running back. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5.
From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. That leads us to a 1st and goal. It's a pickup of 8.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters. No reason to lighten up now. A field goal could get him the lead, but it might not be enough here as they come up on 1st and goal. Operating from the gun, Ryan. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Allen Robinson with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Saints have moved out in front. Prater on to add the extra point. Take a 7-point lead now. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it all culminates in the Saints touchdown. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. Charles, this one not over, certainly, but you set the magic number earlier in this game at 20 points. Said that they would need to hold them right around that marker under it. What are you seeing here?
Well, that number is still in play because we said, okay, 20 or under gives them a chance to win. Right on pace for being in that range. And guess what? They've got a shot.
And he'll just plow right into a host of tacklers. Nothing there at all, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
At the line of scrimmage.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
25-yard line.
Mahomes now to throw. And he's got his man on the out route. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And the head coach reaches for the red flag, tosses it down on the field. He wants a challenge here. Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
and that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
I like the design that we're seeing right there. This is what they need. Down by a touchdown here.
And this is caught inside the 5. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. A big play there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Falcons are an extra point away from tying the football game.
Yes, it was a touchdown, and not just a TD, but how about a long touchdown that puts them in a great position now.
And now just an extra point away from tying this thing. Now it's Hopkins to add the extra point. And no sweat, he puts it through, and we are tied here in the 4th. 5 plays there on that drive. And the end result, an Atlanta touchdown. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. Here's Richie James on the return. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19.
The Saints take over 1st and 10. At their own.
Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this 4th quarter to try to grab that lead back. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. From the gun, Ryan. High throw, but the catch is made. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks.
And partner, to tie a game in the 4th quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars. And he came through with a nice catch right there.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. And they give this time to the tailback. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
A gain of 2. Brings up 2nd.
Operating from the gun. Ryan, wide open receiver, complete. And that's going to be good for another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 39. And with that last play, he's now over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Ryan. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Ryan, middle of the field, it's Robinson. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
I guess we're looking at the wrong side right here.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. From the gun, Ryan, over the middle, complete. It's Robinson. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
It's a gain of 3. Brings up 3rd and 9.
Operating from the gun, Ryan. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Well, they've had success getting the ball to him out of the backfield, but this time they had a man right on him. He was able to break that play up before he could get started.
Makes the score Saints 26, Falcons 23.
So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
29-yard line.
Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this 4th quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game. Mahomes now on 1st down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down. Throwing now is Mahomes. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Protection here. 3rd and long following the sack from Mahomes and company. Mahomes going to throw. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And this play comes to a halt at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the 1st down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Here's Brett Kern now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. A little less than 4 minutes remaining, and the margin for error is small with this slim lead. Operate within your 4-minute offense here, Charles?
Definitely. And remember, the 4-minute offense doesn't always correspond to what's up on the clock. What they need to do is play a little bit of keep away right now. Run the clock down. Make sure their opponent doesn't get the ball back. Their dream scenario, get enough 1st downs and make them eat up their timeouts so the game ends when you're kneeling down with the football. Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but if they make them out of bounds, that does you no good.
And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. 14 yards is the pickup. 1st down, New Orleans.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker. from the 34 now. Here's 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40. Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 5.
Here's Ryan. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. Broke through some contact, but unable to reach the 40. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. So they come up on 2nd down, and they can get another run like we just saw. Would likely put an end to this thing. A handoff as they run the counter play. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. And now we're going to get a timeout defensively. So another stop, 1:50 left in the football game. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. Pretty nice, aggressive run there before being brought down just inside of the 30. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout as there's a Saints player down here on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he'll get this one down to about the 27. This will be play number 9 of the drive here as they need 4 yards on 3rd down. Ryan to throw. And that is incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
Prater's kick is good. And that will double their lead as it's up to 6.
The score, Saints 29. Falcons 23.
So yet another field goal to end a drive. That has been a very common theme. He's now hit 5 of them in this game.
Yeah, Brandon, as an offense, you hate that you've had to call on your kicker so often, but you have to love the fact that time and time again, he's come through.
10 at their own 21-yard line.
Patrick Mahomes in the offense. Down by 6. A little over a minute and a half remaining. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on 1st down. To throw is Mahomes. Looking left side, he's got it. Complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Back to throw, Mahomes. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a 1st down. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. He's got his man on the crossing route. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Back to throw. 17 yards and a 1st down for Atlanta. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left.
It's 2nd down and 10.
Now Mahomes. And this time he's got the hookup. It's complete. And this is going to be another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 20-yard line. Charles, you get into these overtime situations, that's not a bad guy to dial into.
Well, when you have to have plays, especially in a spot as you just described, we're in OT, you've got to go to the guys you can trust and you know are going to make the plays. Well, they say, it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. The Saints are winners here as we say so long from New Orleans.